This video I'll talk about food chains and food webs. So first we're going to look at the definition of food chains and food webs, so what they're actually defined as. Then I'll show you how to draw a simple food chain based on information in a given ecosystem. So food chain and food web based on information given for an ecosystem. So we'll go for that, how to draw them and what they actually mean. And then also we'll have, by the end hopefully, we'll understand the importance of the sun, producers and consumers for any given ecosystem, so how they play a role in food chains and food webs. Alright, let's get started. Alright, a food chain is defined as so food chain shows each living thing gets food, so how it gets food, how nutrients and energy are passed from creature to creature. Food chains always begin with plant life and end with animal life. Right, so again, you can see how energy is passed on. So what I mean by that is we start with grass here, and the energy from the grass is eaten by the grasshopper. Now actually only about 10% of all the energy is transferred from the grass to grasshopper. The rest of it, so 9% is lost at some point as heat or whatever it might be. So only about 10% is transferred from the grass to the grasshopper. Then the grasshopper gets eaten by the mouse. Again, only 10% of the energy from the grasshopper gets transferred to the mouse. The rest is lost. And then the mouse eventually might be eaten by the owl. And then again, only 10% of the 10% of the energy is transferred from the mouse to the owl. Now it says again, so food chains begin with plant life and end with animal life. So you can see it starts with the grass providing the energy for the grasshopper. That's an animal, and then it's eaten by another animal, another animal. So it always starts with plant, usually ends up with animals. Now, only thing that's not in here is the sun. All energy starts from the sun, and obviously the sun provides energy for the grass. Sun provides energy for the grass uses it for photosynthesis to make energy, and then the grass is eaten by the grasshopper, which is eaten by the mouse, which is eaten by the owl. Now a food chain is quite simple, and it's only showing one type of interaction. This eats that, this eats that. Whereas a food web is a bit more complex, it shows more interactions. So over here on the right hand side is a food web. So food web or food cycle is defined as the natural interactions of food chains, and generally a graphical representation using an image of what eats what. So what eats what in the ecological community. So not just a one path, this eats that, but in total it looks at all the interactions within an ecosystem. So if we have a look at this, you can see we start with grass, but the grass is eaten by the grasshopper and the rabbit. Right? So it's not just one interaction, but two interactions you can see here. And then again, the grasshopper is eaten by the mouse, but it's actually also eaten by the bird. And the rabbit is eaten by the owl and by the falcon. And the grass is also eaten by the deer. So food web is just more in detail. It gives you all the interactions that are within an ecosystem, as opposed to food chain, which is much more simple. It's just showing you one pathway. But we always start at the sun, and then from the sun we go to
6586 plus 6586.
From the sun we go to something called a producer, which is something that produces grass, in this case, or produces food, which is the grass, plants. A producer always plants. And then eventually we go to consumers, which are things that eat the producers, so for example animals. So always starts the sun, goes to a plant, a producer, then eaten by different types of consumers, which are usually your animals, right? So if we look at our definition, know your definition of both of them first, then you should be able to draw a basic food chain and food web based on your ecosystem. And again, you should know the importance of the sun, which provides all energy. Initial energy is provided by the sun, provides all energy. Then what is the importance of producers? Well, they use the sun's energy to make food. Plants are producers. And then consumers, well, they eat the plants, for example, to get their energy. So it could be a herbivore eats a plant, and then a carnivore eats the herbivore. So there are all lots of interactions within that one ecosystem. But that's what you should be able to get from this video.